Benefactor underwriting for this broadcast has been provided by a grant from Republic Bank. The power of red is back. Major underwriting support for this broadcast has been provided by grants from New York Community Bank, M&T Bank, Perfect Building Maintenance, Customers Bank, Collins Building Services, Marks Paneth. Additional underwriting support has been provided by grants from AmTrust Title, Bank of America, Capital One Bank, Douglaston Development Levine Builders, Flushing Bank, Friedman LLP, Handro Properties LLC, Handler Real Estate Organization, Investors Bank, James D. Kuhn Real Estate Institute at Syracuse University, John Catsimatidis Red Apple Group, New Banks, Meridian Capital Group, Ocean First Bank, RPW Group, TD Bank, the One Stop Property Group, and these friends.
Boy, oh boy, is retail looking that good? You're shiny. Things are working out. According to my executive producer, Mr. Roseman, retail is booming in New York and around the country. So today, with the help of Mr. Jeffrey Roseman, who is the vice chairman at Newmark, we are talking about what's happening in retail. So as I said, my guests include Jeffrey and another Jeffrey, who was here 7 years ago, Jeff Winehouse, who is the president of Equinox Holdings. And we brought in a new, we'll call you a newbie. Okay, and our newbie over here is Jack Terzi of JTRE Holdings. Okay. So since you're the new guy in the street, how do you see retail? You've been born and bred in retail, okay? Growing up in the Gravesend section, I grew up in Beach Haven, so you know the area over there. So you know retail. How do you like retail today?
Well, I wouldn't really say exactly that I'm a newbie. Maybe newbie to the show.
That's exactly what I'm saying. You're a newbie to the show.
I've been doing this about 16 years now. This is my second cycle. Not like Mr. Roseman, who's been through about 5 or 6 by now, right?
Don't pick on him.
I think that we're in a good place now going into 2022. There are many different types of tenancies. It's been a tidal wave, like we were talking about before, with restaurants, experience type of tenants, food halls, gyms, fitness clubs, the right tenancies into 2022. The last year and a half has been very challenging, of course, but I'm pretty confident that next year is going to get better and better, and the strong will survive.
So what are we seeing as new tenants? Who's coming to the market? Who wants to be in the market? Who's coming to the city now, and where are the better opportunities, in your opinion?
I think for a year plus, there's been no activity. It was really a slowed down market entirely. I'll tell you who's not coming. The smaller format boutique fitness operators who were really coming on very strong pre-pandemic. What we saw is when the digital at-home sales became really strong and the apparel businesses started growing, the boutique fitnesses were really infilling. And I think that's over because of the pandemic. So what we're seeing is like-minded wellness concepts coming in, whether it's food and beverage or other wellness services that are not particularly fitness. The acupuncture business is big right now, and there's a couple of really cool brands growing in Manhattan. So we're seeing the same type of synergies trying to be created, but not through fitness.
We're seeing multiple different uses, I would say. We have a property in Yonkers that we purchased for a retail space. It was a Babies R Us. And then all of a sudden we're getting medical uses and self-storage uses and a food hall interested in it. So nothing that we performed when we bought the property a couple years ago, but there's so many different types of tenancies. E-gaming came to us recently for a project that we have downtown. The dispensary stuff that's going to be coming online in the next couple of years, I think, is a great new tenant that's going to be coming to New York. So while, like Jeff said, all the boutiques of the world are going out, they're not going to be all over the place anymore. The strong are going to survive, which is why, we like to choose a partner. Our tenants are our partners, choose a partner. Like, we're not going to go do a deal with Equinox and then one of their competitors. We like to roll with them for good or bad.
Look, I think
so.
when we talk about Equinox, they are the pinnacle. It's not an advertisement, but I believe that you're the pinnacle over there. And then you have the lower cost with the Blink product, okay? And these mom and pops who try to open up, they're not capitalized properly. The equipment's not there. They're not cleaning the place. They're not worrying about the sanitization. And I think people are looking for the quality.
Well, you know what, and to Jack's point before, and I think in a weird way, we're going to look back on the pandemic as a very revolutionized time for retail. It really has gotten rid of poor performing retailers, the older retailers that were hanging in there for years, and the pandemic sort of accelerated the demise of many of those companies. And after that, we're seeing just a much different group of retailers and companies out
if we went back 7 years ago when you were on the show, okay, how many Trader Joe's did we have? Now we have 14 Trader Joe's. They just opened up 2 new Trader Joe's over the period of time. So the world is changing over there in that side. Movie theaters are...
You even have a Wegmans coming.
Yes.
Right. No, so Wegmans, when they first came to Brooklyn, when they went up to Westchester, those were major changes over here. We're talking before about, you said a vegan restaurant has been talking to you. Mm-hmm. Years ago, we wouldn't see too many vegan restaurants. It's a question of over there. What's happening with the food hall business?
The food hall business has probably slowed down a bit. It certainly got saturated. There are a lot of open halls now and a bunch on the way. I think there's room for many of them, but like we see in any specific category, I'm sure there'll be a shakeout and there will be a few that survive. And, but it's a needed, you walk into any of them and, you walk into urban space in Midtown, it's packed all the time.
Now, certain office building owners are doing their own internal urban type of space, okay? Mark's Realty on 44th Street, he happens to have a Scotch bar up there, different products over there. Do you see the retailers in office buildings operating in a different way today than they were pre-pandemic?
I would say that whether there's an office building or not, if you have a large retail space, 30,000, 40,000, to 150,000 feet, a large building, you need to integrate all these types of concepts. We've got a couple of buildings downtown that we're working with, some food halls, some co-working tenants, gyms, and we're trying to integrate them, have a grand entrance for all of them to enter together, to feed off of one another. That's important in any building today.
Speaking of that, you had a relationship, and I assume you may still have the relationship with Industrious, right?
We do. They are, I think they're a really phenomenal operator. We did a joint
I had him on my show.
Justin or Jamie?
Jamie.
Yeah, Jamie's
great.
Spectacular CEO.
Very smart guy.
Very smart guy. We've done a lot of things with him. We have one operating business with him in Hudson Yards where we joint ventured to do an Industrious at Equinox in our building where we have our club, hotel, and our corporate offices. And they've done a tremendous job. We helped with the design. We upticked it to our level. And they've created a phenomenal environment that's very synergistic with the fitness club in the same building and the hotel.
What's your thought about the co-working?
Love it. Yeah. I think the wind's at their backs right now. The theme is the right operators.
It got a bad rap because of WeWork,
It's all about the right operators, like Jeff keeps saying, the food halls, the gyms, and especially the co-working. The co-working, I think, is phenomenal right now.
Co-working, the WeWork, I just finished the book.
Yeah, I read them both.
100%.
It's great.
It talks about that. But co-working, I think, is here here to stay.
Absolutely.
But I think it's the industrialists of the world, or maybe the dealers that are also with, like Hemsley Spear. They have their own spaces, and there's other type operators who are going to be there. So,
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's funny. We talked about food, food halls, fitness, and co-work, and thematically, it's really the same thing. It's just, quality and survival of the fittest was always the issue. I think the pandemic has made that really accelerated. It was in my industry in fitness, it was always about quality, but it was a slow attrition and a slow burn of the weaker competitors going out. That's no longer the case. This is now an accelerated. You either are really good or you're not going to make it.
Yeah.
Across all industries.
Are we seeing any of the European companies, the Asians like Uniqlo, come back? Are we seeing major expansion? Are they talking to you about? I mean, 23 Wall is a perfect location because of the size and the location, the physical location. What's happening?
I'm hearing a number of companies that are running around the city from UK, from Asia, from Italy that are, retail. Look, after an event like this, whether it was 9/11 or, whatever it is in the city, that's when companies from retailers from across the globe say, you know what, maybe now is a good time to look at New York City. It's never going to go, it's not going anywhere, and now is the time to bet on it. And you mentioned Trader Joe's. They came in, probably their original store was not long after 9/11, as was Whole Foods and H&M and Zara. They all.
Wait a second. I think you brought the first.
I
Whole
did the
Foods to
first Whole
city.
Foods deal. I did, yes. And I think it was around that time. I don't recall exactly.
On 26, that was the first one.
Yeah. But that's the time we did Chipotle. When we were doing their work, they had probably scheduled New York for maybe 2002, 2003, and then after 9/11, I think they sort of saw an opportunity that the city, was.
Look, I think in the same way, what happened with Jack over here, with the Chick-fil-A. Okay, they came in 6th Avenue. I mean,
Well, I'll tell you, when we made that deal with them, nobody wanted them in the city. I was talking with them for a little bit, and my partner and I had to convince him to take them as a tenant, whether it was because of some of the political issues or because they were deemed a McDonald's type of restaurant. Nobody wanted them, and when we met with them, I actually went, to Atlanta to their headquarters to take a look at what they did. We knew instantaneously they were going to be a success, and they had lines out the door.
That's a great example of a tenant who, to your point,
they are a tenant that made the neighborhood in certain
Absolutely.
Right,
certain cases.
but before that, you
We had to
thought
bet
of
on them,
Chick-fil-A.
believe it or
They were just a mall tenant. There was nothing
exactly,
exciting about them.
exactly.
They come to New York, they have destroyed it. They have
And now it's so
incredible
obvious.
numbers.
And now it's so obvious, and everybody will do anything for them. But literally, 5-6 years ago, when we did the deal, nobody would
Great
talk to them.
credit.
Best credit out there.
So I have a question. Where, you have specific locations. Where are the opportunities for you to grow in the metropolitan area?
So we have 30 locations for Equinox in Manhattan, which is way more than we ever thought we'd be able to achieve. And pre-pandemic, we thought we had about another 5 or 6 locations to infill. It's probably less than that now under the current circumstance until we rebuild our business and our member count back to pre-pandemic levels, which is happening,
Right.
and it will happen within the next 18 months. We have a deal in Nomad on 27th and Broadway signed with Savannah I may be announcing this for the first time here, but it's good. Breaking news. Which we still think is a phenomenal location.
I think Nomad is it's an undervalued location. I think it's slowly, you can have
Phenomenal.
the Virgin over there. You have other things over there. You have the work, from the Israeli holding company, the Ofer family. And I think it's going to only increase in value.
Yeah, and when we look at a market like that, we have a bunch of clubs within the immediate area, but we look very detailed on where our members are coming from at our other clubs. So while that might look crazy for us to put a club there when we have 2 or 3 clubs within a few blocks, we were not picking up that area, and we were not picking up the 6th Avenue residential corridor between 23 and 30, which is the high-rise rental
The
properties.
former flower district. So
Exactly.
if you want to talk about transformation, I mean, when Adele's father and son went over there and
Yeah.
changed the zoning, the world changed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Look, I think that similar downtown on Wall Street, where the misconception has been for years that it's solely a Wall Street office crowd. I would argue that right now it's more of a residential crowd than an office crowd.
Yeah, and tourists.
And with Whole Foods coming at the end of the year, we have Hermes as a tenant at 23 Wall, and you know the conversations that we go back and forth with, he always says it's the trifecta. It's got the office tenant, the residential tenant, and the tourist.
Yeah, and anecdotally, I mean, we have a bunch of office district clubs in Manhattan that have suffered way more than the residential. Our number one performing corporate location is at 14 Wall Street because of that residential overlay that's so significant. So I'm backing your thesis up with facts.
Great.
What about the far west side? I mean, you're in Hudson Yards, but what about that neighborhood going a little further?
Well, the Hudson Yards, we're on 10th Avenue, between 10th and 11th, between 32 and 34. It gets a little jumbled
Right.
up over there. It's funny, that club, while we are still struggling to rebound, and our rebound is steady but not explosive until people get comfortable being in public environments and that fear factor goes away, which is happening slowly. It's a slow and steady rebound back. But we do believe, it's funny that you asked, we do believe that our Hudson Yards Fitness Club will be at full capacity in the next 24 months, and that we will need a second location in that general area, far west, west of 10th Avenue, between 34 and 37.
What's our thoughts about retail in Harlem?
I think it's improving. It's been improving.
I mean, you have a new Trader Joe's
the
coming
Trader
there
Joe's,
also.
you have the Whole Foods.
You have the Whole Foods. But what about in general?
To Jack's point, I think it's improving. It's you know, retailers acknowledge it. I think they are all looking up there at one point. If they're coming into New York as part of an expansion program, I think Harlem is now on their map.
So I have to ask the Brooklyn boy, who's a Jerseyite now, what about the Bronx?
The Bronx is on fire. Yeah.
The Bronx is burning, are you
Yeah,
saying?
Bronx is on fire. Bronx is great. It's great. It really is, and especially the southern Bronx right now.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you seeing that also?
That's what I hear. I can't speak firsthand, but you know, I rely on guys like this who sort of are out there, and Jack, I know, has spent a bunch of time up there.
And yours?
I think we have a value brand called Blink Fitness, $20 a month brand, and our greatest success has been in the Bronx and Queens. Bronx #1, Queens #2, back and forth between the two, and it's been a tremendous success. We've looked in certain areas for our more luxury brands, SoulCycle and Equinox. We haven't done anything yet. Probably had there not been a 20-month shutdown, we probably would have looked a lot closer. And there are areas that are gentrifying to the point where they might be able to support our higher end business. But our Blink Fitness business has been just absolutely crushing it in the outer boroughs.
What about Staten Island, another borough that people don't talk about much? I mean, you have retail, you have the malls, the strip shopping centers, but nothing really is taking place over there.
We don't have anything in Staten Island.
Tricky market. I think it is the next borough to catch on, but it's taken a little time. You know, the Staten Island Mall is a very good producing mall. All the retailers there do very well. Empire Outlets has done well, you know, in their brief opening, and then they got hit by the pandemic.
What about American Dream? What's your thoughts about American Dream?
I'm a fan. I love it. I think they've done a great job with it. I mean, you talk about adversity, you know, that whole project, and then literally when they opened.
The project is a 25-year project.
25-year project. The Gramasians did a great job to get it to the point, and then the pandemic hit. It must have hit like right before they opened. I mean, one after another. But to their credit, they have done an amazing job. I've taken my kids there a few times. There's great things for kids to do.
The kids love it.
I love it. I mean, it is a theme park in a mall, and so I give them credit. It was not an easy project. didn't have the stomach
Is-
for
is
it.
that-
I think that's the only family, the Garmesian family, that could make that happen. I
Right.
mean, if it were any other developer, I think it would not be able to be successful.
I have a quote on my wall. It says, "Everything is walking distance if you have the time." And the Garmesians are one of the only families, like you said, that have the time to be able to make a project like
And
that
they made
work.
a big financial commitment on that.
And I think it'll work in time.
So
did too.
what's going to happen to certain of these malls, shopping centers? What do you see happening with them?
Well, it's sort of like we discussed earlier, where the uses are changing. They're becoming mixed use. We're looking at some centers and talking to guys like Industrious and guys like Notel, who Newmarket owns, about going in there and combining them with a Sweet Green or an Equinox or a Blink and really putting these projects together. So, I mean, I think that's started before the pandemic, and it's
Yeah.
really just accelerating right now.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a guy who's been on my show a couple of times, Joe Farkas, Metropolitan Realty Associates, who did a lot of retail one time. He's not heavily in retail before, but he took over the Macy's in Nanuet and basically put the home furnishing store in there. And the second floor, second portion, he got community approval to put self-storage.
Yeah, repurposing those malls and shopping centers was a long time coming. And again, the pandemic accelerated that. Those malls would have dragged on for a bit, and now they really are, they do have a purpose. And there's some, I've heard some exciting repurposing going on of some of these malls.
So besides Target, who else is coming in that type of business?
Well, Primark, I guess, signed at least
Primark.
one or
Primark,
two deals.
Burlington is pretty aggressive right now.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
TJ Maxx,
TJX is a good
TJX companies are really doing well.
Yeah, Wegmans, as Jack mentioned earlier. Whole Foods is always looking. Amazon has a number of concepts that they're playing around with.
You know,
Like
speaking
if you
of-
see what the Van Gogh exhibit has done, right?
Digital art is yeah.
Digital art is
Incredible.
exploding. We're
Yeah.
getting many offers throughout the city from digital art right now, and different experiences where, and that's what I think people are just craving experience. They'll pay $50 to go into
I
art
know, my
exhibit in and
grandkids
out.
were here. We went to this digital art in the
on 14th Street.
on 14th
Yeah, they
Street.
just opened up that one.
Right. So we were there, and
That's the same guys behind Van Gogh.
I mean, it's an interesting thing. You know, people
Something
aren't
to
gonna,
do.
It's a good way to
Something-
spend a couple hours.
Camp-
Camp
way.
Camp is a tenant that does that also. They're expanding.
Yeah, yeah.
What's happening with Soho? You know, it got hurt really
Soho,
bad by the pandemic.
Broadway in Soho is one of the hottest stretches right now from a leasing standpoint. The rents have come down to a realistic level. They probably, at one point reached an unrealistic level, but right now I've got a couple properties down there that I'm handling, and we have multiple offers on each one. The traffic is there. Bricks and mortar is it's interesting. They were writing the obituary for bricks and mortar for so long, and the companies that were sort of pushing them out, right? The Amazons and the Allbirds and the Warby Parkers are the ones who were sort of creating,
I mean,
expanding bricks and mortar.
I mean, I remember when Warby Parker, they wanted to have a couple of stores. Today they probably are close to 200 stores.
Right, and they're full speed ahead.
I had old school Jeffrey Roseman on the street with me in Soho. We're about to do a little deal together to be announced. But old school Jeffrey with his keys opening up the storefront, showing me space. We had a kick out of that. We were the only two that were willing to go out in the middle of this mess and go see space and interact with people. But we're about to put together a deal on Broadway in Soho.
What about the Gowanus? I mean, any thoughts about that?
Everything is connecting right now, so
Yeah,
I think
that's
Gowanus,
right.
it's just part of that.
So
Park
I'm
Slope
going to
in
now go to a different neighborhood, and I recently had him on my show. What's your thoughts about Coney Island?
Go for that.
On based on a retail perspective.
Again,
I don't believe we're going to see an Equinox in Coney Island yet.
I think that's probably right. We have a Blink there.
You'll see one in
But the
Gowanus.
Blink, I was going to
before.
say the Blink is
Yeah.
perfect.
Yes. Yes.
From what I know, and I don't do a lot of work out there, it is an exciting neighborhood, and it is certainly, it's got activity and it's got a pulse for sure.
So now I'm going to go to a different location where you're spending some time. What about the Hamptons?
The Hamptons is doing great. I mean, from a retail standpoint, it was always viewed as a seasonal market. That changed. It changed even before the pandemic. I think retailers have realized what's out there and you know, the spending power that's out there, and it has become a year-round community. It's not as year-round as it was, you know, a year ago, but you've got all the big names that are out there and that are all kicking around out there.
It's been very successful for us. We have 3 SoulCycle in the Hamptons and 1 in Montauk. And last summer we opened an Equinox, smaller format, around 10,000 square feet,
Which
indoor,
town?
outdoor, in Bridgehampton.
Bridgehampton, right.
Yeah, it was a very
Spectacular, yeah.
very successful summer there. And we are seeing the season, you know, go from 4 months to 6 months. Now that may just be a pandemic thing, but the season has expanded by like a month on the front end and a month on the back
At
end.
least, yeah.
As people are more slowly coming back into Manhattan. But it's been very successful for us.
So my last question is to the Jersey Eye. What about the Jersey Shore in retail?
I prefer to live there than buy real estate on the Jersey Shore for retail, but it is pretty dynamic with Pier Village.
Right.
And Asbury has been exploding lately. So I'd like to eat there, but I'm going to stick to New York City real estate.
So as I said before, this apple really is shiny for retail. Most people would say, Stoller, are you crazy to put a show on retail? I said, with the help of Roseman over there, I'm certain that we'd have a good topic and we'd discuss the retail. And I'd like to thank the other Jeff, and Jack, and I'll see you next week.
Thank you.
Thank you.